Hello and welcome back to another one of our World Cup design videos, and in this one we're going to look at the Chop Match Club by trailducker. As for what he suggested, so there's team manipulation, but please judge from blue tees, so we will do that. Let's pick pin 4 out of nowhere. Greens at 145 can go all the way up to very fast. Scary. Max firmness on greens and fairways intended, so we'll chuck that on, and east winds, he suggests. So we'll go with the usual. I try to judge on medium just because high can occasionally go crazy. We'll go very firm, very firm. I mean, I could go defaults. Let's chuck them to fast. Because if you're saying they can go up to very fast, I think I should probably push them a little bit. Now, any key design elements, lots of fairway sloping and subtle hazards. Match play design pars more arbitrary with never being out of it, and inspired by Ballyneal. Interesting. Looking forward to interesting published picture, but I guess it probably looks different on the full screen version. So as per, we're going to kick this off. I'm going to try and dig into the course as much as we possibly can. I'll say the things that I like about it, but as ever with these, most people are in these sort of contests to try to get that critical feedback, so we'll try and provide that. As well as obviously it does. So I saw the thread, and I've not seen any of these courses or anything of them before I load them up or I see the thread. And I saw the thread for this one, and this one's really intriguing. So he's gone Ballyneal, and yeah, definitely that style. So like the brown kind of hills and dunes, and you can see from the sky we've got lots of, like, I guess the brushes that you've been using to make this are still in the fairways, which is interesting. I'd worry it's potentially a little bit mogully rather than, like, because you can keep natural but still smooth it out a little bit, but we will see how that works. The sand paths look cool. We've got some waste areas and some kind of more natural style bunkers, loads of grass planting, a real mix of grasses. Yeah. That looks like a cool green site. The thing with this sort of a course is you can do all sorts of fun green sites depending on... Oh, I thought it was a par 4 coming this way. I feel like it's a par 3 from here, which seems a little less fun. And then you go out this way, maybe? Yeah, definitely some team manipulation stuff. Now, one thing I did wonder from the overhead is there look like there are some greens on here that maybe aren't in use. So that's kind of interesting as to how the routing works if you're not necessarily using every single green that you've got. But yeah, lots of interesting land movement. We have a cool kind of... Is that clubhouse or the halfway? That's clubhouse. Obviously no cars in the car park. Oh no, one van. Good work. The grass planting is very dense. Love this. That kind of turret ET style walkway is very cool. Funky clubhouse, very modern. Certainly. And you're definitely getting that dry grass look. I'm not sure how much I love all of these grasses than all of these ones. I wonder whether we could have blended those just a little bit more, but we'll see how that works as we play through. And then that presumably putting practice green. But then there's bunkers and things. So this is where I was getting a bit confused. There are definitely some holes out here that aren't totally used. But we will see how that all works. But yeah, really cool environment. Definitely unique. We don't have anything that looks quite like this, which is always a positive. And where is our first tee? Out here, presumably? Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's give this a go. Okay, so we've got, you can see the manipulated tees. We've got blue or red or white, which not much change of distance, just angle really on this one. So I guess if you hold the high side, you get a better look into the green. If you play down here, then yeah, you run down and you've still got a shot, but you're coming more in over that. Now, Ducker's greens have typically been overworked, I would say, and that's been my main feedback to him for previous courses. This looks really good. It's just simple, and it's got a clear idea of what it's trying to do and be, and it doesn't need to do too much too complicated. I don't love this. The flat pan bunker high feels a bit awkward. I feel like it's either trying to be a waste bunker or it's trying to be a formal bunker, and it's kind of doing neither. Definitely effective. I'm just not sure I love the styling on it. Okay, nevertheless, I think we can clear that pretty well, and we hold the high side. I think he's gone for medium difficulty as well. I forgot to mention that. So that's like anywhere CC to elite, basically, which is a nice catch-all. Really good first green sight. Somewhere up here would be good. Yeah. Grass planting there looks outstanding. I like that you've really committed to the grasses. Like we looked at another course earlier, can't remember which one, where the grasses were kind of around the playable areas but not always in backdrop. I think here you've clearly really committed to it and gone all out with them, and yeah, that's taken some time. You do have that the couple of beads going at the hole slightly the wrong way. Little bits we can tidy up. Just a tiny bit of a flatten would have helped. But yeah, I can see these greens definitely going to fasts. No problem. Probably very fast, that first green. Yeah, so you can see how majority is going this way, and you just got one or two stubborn ones that are working back the other way. Just it's really tedious, but I'd keep trying to work on those. So I do think it makes a difference. Just people don't want to see double breakers that often. Grass planting's really good. I would maybe like to thin it out just a touch in here. I still think the bunkers are what's slightly throwing me off though. Just the straighter edges. I feel like they want to be they just want to be a bit less smooth, and we've got some awkward texturing here, which I'm sure is intentional. It just looks awkward. It's really the bunker that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I would also kind of like, given the look you're going for, I would have loved down here to be green texture and just like wrap that green around this mound and bring that right into play, because that's such a fun feature on this sort of a hole. That said, it's a good par 3. Really, like, I love that you can see the complete extent of this course all the way out here, and like you are just lost and wandering somewhere in the dunes. That's awesome. Let's see if we can use that backboard. Kind of as intended. Yeah, some of the surfacing maybe feels a tiny bit awkward. It's really the bunkers. I guess you got to go splines, but you don't necessarily need the curvy splines. You can set your width to 0, and like you can make jagged edges a little bit more. Definitely not. Right. Hey, Ipley. I have decided, for those on YouTube, I realised that previous playthroughs haven't had the chat box, so it looks like me talking. You can't see where it's coming from. So I've tried to keep that on for this one, so that hopefully you can see that a little bit better. Okay, drivable par 4 for the third, and driving it's not the issue. Or rather, the distance isn't the issue, it's like landing it on there and holding it. And I think you'd be mad to go for it for a front pin, right? Okay. Although, if you end up on the back of the screen, that's not too challenging. Certainly would be the 186 is this could go up to. Loads of fairway short. Yeah, the bunker style is what's not quite working for me. Again, but let's have a go. I can see how I will probably get knocked into this. Dunes in the backdrop look awesome. Like the shadows they're casting are really good. Loads of space to lay up in, loads of interest in terms of the land movement. Yeah, I don't have much to critique on this one. Didn't quite get my partial. That's fine, we'll end up somewhere in the fairway and we can play from there. $100 yards. Just as we planned it. And that spine, I would hope, will just feed us down a little bit. I feel like you're making usually a pretty easy birdie from kind of anywhere down there. There's definitely got the recovery options. I think, yeah, works well. Certainly a match play course where you're thinking 3 on that one is probably more like par. Certainly a 3.5 rather than a par 4. Okay, so where are we now? We're hitting... Is that the previous green? Okay, so we're hitting back this way. Again, kind of a raised green. I think all 3 of the first 3 have been raised. And that par 3, I guess, was sitting down a little bit more. Especially after that last one where it's a really raised volcano-style green. I'd have been doing anything possible to not make this one raised. So I'd have sat this one down a little bit more. I don't think you need it as high as you've got it. I mean, I guess it probably was a high point initially, but you'd want to allow... I guess the difficulty is it's a par 5 and you want some sort of defence, but I think you'd want the ability to get the ball close by landing short and rolling on. Land movements were cool. It is a touch mogully, but yeah, I mean, this feels like a very... this feels like a par 4, really. And I know that you're going for the whole par is irrelevant thing, but I would have liked a little bit more danger on this. Because I've hit... Probably that's the area I'm not meant to miss in. I don't think it's... Yeah. I think this is the weakest of the holes so far. They've been really strong. This one's just not doing a huge amount for me with playability. Right, just shutting the curtains so I can see a little bit better. Okay. Nice, interesting green site here. Slightly hidden bunker, which I like. Some interesting contouring. Yeah, this is the sort of... I guess this is the sort of danger I'd have been expecting on the par 5 tee shot. I'm wondering whether this bunker is there purely for this tee shot, I assume, so that you can't cut down this corner. As is, I kind of think still driver somewhere down here would look good. Like the lighter green grasses are blending a little less well. You've done the clumping really nicely. I still think you can blend a little bit more than you have done. Somewhere out here is good. Ah, oh well. Still, light rough's not too bad. Off and up slope. I like the disconnected green here. It's different. Sat down in the jeans feels like a really nice site for it. I like that you've got a lot of fairway above the green. Hey, Saucy. Yeah, there's lots of this I'm really liking. And this is the change-up green site you needed on this hole. That may not make it. Fine, we've got some space long. We can have some fun. Try and play way long. And bring it back down. Yeah, so it's an entertaining shot. Lovely. I look forward to... I've got a few alternates to play. I'm just trying to catch up on the main field a little bit and space the alternates through as we go. Okay, so 6 is a par 3. Diagonal tier, long hole. So this is certainly a 3.5 today. I think I would probably just encourage a little bit of an easier way to get at this pin. I like this diagonal tier. Probably just be softening around here so there's some path of going through here. But otherwise good. Yeah, I just feel the bunkers are the thing you could be doing a little bit more with. Everything else I'm really liking. There's a shot. Take that. I can see this would be a really fun course to play match it's on, because there's like a lot of chances to get birdies, but you take on a little bit more risk, and yeah, I think that would work well. Okay, another par 5. Again, loads of width. Kind of a receptive greenside, but it's much, much longer. Still, I might run through. I can see I could end up in that bunker in front. Don't really feel too much risk on the tee shot. Run down to the lower levels. Okay, and then we got our waste area coming in a little bit more. I'm curious, have we got any other waste areas anywhere else on the plot? Don't get me wrong, I like it. It just feels a bit out of place given some of the previous holes. And this kind of bunkering, I think, tied in with everything else you're doing would work really nicely. That said, the cover more later on. Okay, that's good. Driver off the deck? Why not? Go on, go bouncy bounce. Oh, it's done well. Oh, it's doing very well. That was a very fun approach shot. Take that. Yeah, agreed. I like this green. It feels like a natural place for it. Yeah, there's definitely less going on. Still a couple of the beads going a little bit wonky. So you've got one going this way, one going this way. These two, then these ones coming back, then that one's going much faster. I think you can just... The trick with having these kind of undulating greens is still having them smoothed out, but then also a little bit random. It's tough. Lovely little par 3. Oh, super short. And the other issue with the super dense high-res grasses that you've got here, these ones, which look really, really good. The problem is then if we step back, it makes these areas look much, much emptier. I'm guessing you were struggling with, well, I think I knew you were struggling with file size or object meter. I think just thinning them out in those areas a little bit, and another couple of clusters here, 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 here. Not necessarily all of them, but like it's kind of like we've gone 100% and then 0%, and you kind of need maybe 80 and like 30 sort of thing. I know that's not perfect maths, but like you want a couple of little clusters around here just so it doesn't look as empty. I think that would really help. Really enjoying the golf so far, which is the main thing. And scoring well, I think. Yeah, 5 under. Nice. Blind tee shot, we've always got to have one, and that's, I assume, the 2 edges of the fairway. Yeah, so it works nicely. It's a nice way to avoid having much in the way of hazards in the landing area. I think this, I'm going to stop making the comment about the grasses, but it's kind of the same thing here. It's like everything and then not very much here. Just a little bit of mixing in would make a big difference. Somewhere over there is fine. I don't really feel a ton of pressure has been put on tee shots at all, and I'm enjoying that because I like I've enjoyed the approach shots. And I'm hesitant to say I don't think it matters where I hit it, because I don't think that's true. Certainly wasn't true on the first, but I think it could matter more. A little bit of a fade, hopefully into the backstop. It's nice to have a longer approach on this one. The backstops work well. I think you got the textures absolutely spot on. Are we anywhere near the clubhouse now? Or is it a proper, you go out and then, yeah, you go out. Where's the clubhouse? Miles away, over there. Cool, out and back. Really enjoying my round. Like, it obviously helps you when you score well, but it's a lot of fun. This tee shot frame is much nicer. Not much nicer, but like it feels a little bit more balanced. I guess some of the grasses are a little close to the tee, a little close and a little big. Okay, so we can go this way, which I presume is the riskier but more reward way, or we can go out this way. Yeah, I don't think it matters hugely. I don't know if I have this short of a hole. I don't think there's that much incentive to take these on. I can hit this way. I mean, a little bit of wind into means I can't quite carry all of it, but I think this is okay. So you still have a choice as to how you play it, but I didn't feel like I needed to take on the danger. Oh, I just stalled a little bit. Again, I kind of wonder whether we could have done a little bit more with the green complex on the par 5. Just, I understand it's a 4.5 and everyone's making a 4, so you've got to try and get eagle or that sort of mantra. But I think it's okay to really ramp up the danger around the par 5s, and the 3 that we've had so far have been very accessible, albeit the second was very long. But kind of really encouraging that. Yeah, similar with this one. It sits in a really nice spot. I would want the green to be doing a little more. Especially as we've done the angled par 3 thing already on 5, 6, I think. Or was it 8? Can't remember. 8 was 8. So given that we've done that angled green, I'd try and find something that's a little bit different as an idea. I guess this one's going front to back, so we're encouraging ground game and elevation at that, but it's short enough, I don't think that matters so much. Again, another really good look, though. Like, visuals are not an issue with this course. It's looking really nice. That really rolled off. I rolled off more than I expected. I think I'm going to have to play that one again and really get a feeling on it. I can see what the aim is. I think front to back par 3s are tricky. I just like it. Okay. Sort of central bunker complex thing here. Looks interesting. I mean, another one of those side-on greens, a bit more of a waste area. This feels more natural. I'd like to have seen a bit more of this splashed around generally. Because I think you could have little bits of it, like, say, here or around here, and then when you do bring it in, it feels a little less... Not that this feels contrived, but it feels less so. So it's a side-on green, which means it kind of doesn't really matter where we go. Maybe you get a backstop a bit more if you go this way, but I don't think it matters too much. So I think the play is just somewhere down here. It's very far below us, so 5 wood is fine. Somewhere out there. I feel like raising the land up in front of your little barranca is a bit of it's a shame. Like, it's a really cool, it's probably a bit densely planted for my tastes, but I like it as a feature. It would be really cool to actually see it on the approach rather than staring into a wall. Still, another nice hole is, the golf is very interesting. And like, no misses so far. Right, at least no big misses. Okay, par 5 where we're definitely pinching driver more. Kind of wondering whether you're going a little bit too far the other way with your green complexes. It's trying to find that balance between too much going on and too little going on, and there are times where I feel like there's a bit too little. And the par 5s in particular, they're not quite hitting the mark for me. That said, if there's a potential for a really fun approach shot, I just missed it. I can see how that can be a really satisfying shot. I like the bunkering around the green. Didn't quite grab as much as we liked, but I know, but it's fine. Flying through this one. Enjoying it. Yeah, same thing with the bunkers. Like, I like that we're doing a bit more of the random shaping at the top. The bottom, yeah, it just all looks a bit smooth, and it just doesn't really fit with the rest of the course you're going for. I think that shape looks quite nice. Again, that's brushes rather than splines. Okay. Somewhere up there. It is definitely very wide and very forgiving off the tee, and I think possibly too forgiving. I'm not saying you need to bring hazards in on every tee shot, but there's been quite a lot where I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. No, I think sometimes it just doesn't matter where I really hit it. For that pin, I could go pretty much anywhere as long as it didn't go long. What's our waypoint doing over here? That's odd. Okay, this one matters more in terms of position. We want to be positioning ourselves kind of near the waypoint to work our way out over here. I'd probably put your waypoint here just because, like, let people figure that out. You definitely don't want to be here because you'll be short-siding yourself. Hit somewhere around here, a little bit of a draw. Does mean I've left a pitch shot, but we're staring right down the green, so no bad thing. I think actually, with just talking through as we go, but that should be about right given the slope we're on. Yeah, I like that one. That one has a good amount of character. All right, par 3. So the long 3, and yep, we can land it short. We can't go too far right. Can't go very far right at all. Yeah, there's enough interest here. I would probably like a little bit more space to land it short, just so you don't end up between clubs so much. Come on, wind, hit it. Another one of those little double breakers. You can see at the top it's just turning back here when immediately it's then going this way. You get one or two of these putts, and I'd quite like it to be more of a consistent break. Nearly got it. I would have been stealing one though, given the tee shot. Yeah, another solid hole. Okay, another drive ball 4. This one feels, I want to say this is Stream Song inspired, this one. I feel like there's a green complex at Stream Song Red that does something similar to this. So the question is, to what extent do we mind going into this bunker? Because that's where everything's being kicked. I don't think I do. There's a lot of space in which to hit it, but anywhere down here, you're going into the big bunker over the back. Oh, the big slow. Yeah, we're definitely going in there. But I think I'm okay with that. Could be wrong. And then okay. Yeah, I mean, on the easier side, certainly. And then 18, and you have the hollow way down there. And if you play there, then you have to take on those bunkers, or if you go up. Kind of a callback to the first, I guess. Kind of feel like I'd rather be in the hollow, right? Because then I can use those as a backstop. So I don't mind, and I'll get the run out. It's another really short 5. There we go. I don't think we'll shoot better than that on any course. Yeah, I think I really enjoyed it. I thought it's laid out in a really nice way. There's a lot of interesting holes there, and you've clearly thought about it, putting a load of time on the planting. Definitely hit a lot of the previous issues I've had with some of your courses, with the greens not being overdone. That's a big thing. I think previously you pushed hole designs and like the angles to the extreme, which meant that you'd play down alternate fairways and things like that. There was none of that. I do think it's a bit simplistic off the tee, perhaps, in that I'm not sure it matters too much where I go. But very receptive on the greens, definitely a match play course, so like the -12 doesn't really mean anything. It's a load of fun to play. I think my main critiques would have been I don't think tee shots felt like they mattered all the time. Par 5 green complexes in particular felt on the easier side, probably just those bunkers. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. It's a load of fun, and best luck in the contest. Now, for those of you watching on Twitch, we're going to pause for a second and load up another one in just 1 minute. Be right back.